Hello, everyone. Ted Clayton here. Yet another illustration proving that the majority of women outright hate short men. And I would actually say the world as a whole, the general population as a whole. But that is a subject for another video, which hopefully I'll get on. Now, as I've said before, I really didn't want to make this topic a mission, but it's sort of become it by means of these videos being a journal for me. I'm someone that I'm fairly isolated. I don't have too many people to talk to, no one that I live with, anything like that. So I don't really have people to that I can just bounce ideas off of or just kind of vent, unload to them. So I don't really have that. That doesn't mean that I'm not welcome in any places or anything like that. It's just kind of how things turned out. I mean, that's also a subject for another day. However, this is basically, yes, there is a part of me that wants to shine the light on this, especially since the world is now dealing with this schism, or as someone like Pockets of the Future has coined this year, 2021, year of the schism. So there's a lot of division that's happening, a lot of things that's been beneath the surface that are happening right now. And what I want to do is, it's not so much of make it a them versus us thing or me versus them thing, however, whatever the case may be, but it's more just stating my position in things and letting people think what they want, or letting people draw their own conclusions. All right, so all that to say, I was walking here in the financial district. There's this group of people that are a couple feet away. I would say maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 yards away at the corner. And it's a bunch of them. And one of the persons in that group, which was a woman, a middle-aged woman, bumps right into me. And it was absolutely no reason for her to do it. Okay. I'm walking down this street, right? I'm actually trying to get into this building. So this was just before I got here. I'm carrying a bunch of things. So let's just keep that in mind. I'm carrying a bunch of things. I got the leader hat on. So, that's that. I have a book bag and I have a duffel bag. And I think that was kind of it. I had another bag on me because I had gotten some food. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of things I'm carrying, and I'm I'm walking by myself. So I'm going down this block, right? And ahead of me, I noticed, again, this group of people. I think they had to be either South American or Europeans, maybe Portuguese or Spanish, not Hispanic, but Spanish. So again, I would have to say about 6 people. One of them was a woman, middle-aged woman, and all these people were good-looking people. They were all good-looking people. The woman who bumped into me, she was really good-looking, and the rest of the people with her were all males. I didn't really I didn't like try to analyze everyone, but it looked like everyone she was with was really young. Maybe all her sons, cousins and sons, something like that, or nephews and sons, excuse me. I didn't see an older male there. Maybe I just didn't notice them. They were all around the same height. They were all like roughly 5'8" and the woman a little taller than me, about 5'6" And again, I don't like to give my exact height, but as I always say, I'm one of the beautiful ones. So I noticed them. And they all look like, all these guys, even the women, they all look like they could play soccer. And again, they all look like good-looking people. The guys look fairly handsome. So now, you could say that I'm overthinking, but this is just my deduction of things, and also me just being careful when I'm out and about. There is this perception of short men that we are just, actually, this is actually a real thing. It's not even what I feel is happening. I'm seeing this in forums and blogs and comment sections. So this is a thing. Now, who may have these feelings, that's a different matter. But there is this thing out there where people have this perception of short men, that they're just horrible people. They're always trying to outdo. They're always trying to dominate a certain situation. And all in all, people have just had it with them. That's kind of like the general thing. So all that to say, when I come across people in the street, I always get this fear that people have. I always feel it with them. And it's exhausting for me because I feel it from every single person. Not every single person, but a majority of people. Anytime when I don't feel that feeling, it's usually somebody who is pretty level-headed or has who can look at people on an individualistic level as an individual, where they'll look at you maybe with some kind of suspicion, but they won't have any prejudice or project any energy towards you. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? Okay, so anyhow, I'm seeing these people and I already get this feeling from them. And it's kind of like, that kind of feeling. So what I do when I sense that, and just in general, I'll do it, because again, it was all these people, I'll slow down. I'm kind of in a rush. It's hot, and I have all these things that I'm carrying, and I just walk fast. So I'm in the city. I remember my younger brother says I have a Manhattan walk or something like that. So that's just that. That's just how I am. But, I see these people say, oh, slowing down. And in this street, it's kind of empty, so it's not really a rush, like you're not really interfering in traffic. So they actually stop in the middle of the street, in the middle of the crosswalk. So I'm walking towards them, and they all stop. So, I slow down because, they all, for some reason, stopped or whatever. I guess they was trying to figure out where they were going or whatever. But we noticed each other, come towards each other, that we were crossing paths. So I stopped, and I'm letting everyone kind of settle down because, again, they're walking towards me, but they decide to stop. So as I'm going, I'm assessing, like, okay, what do I do now? Because everyone kind of stopped. And the thing is, this is what actually gets me upset. And this is where the thing with height really gets to me, where it actually is a prejudice. It's actually a bigotry. Because people are not overriding whatever prejudice or thoughts they have and not using just their manners, just from being in public. Where if there's a group of people and just one person walking towards you, I'm already walking, I have the right of way. I'm walking on the right, I'm keeping forward. So it's up to them to figure out where they want to, how they want to kind of position themselves to keep moving forward. And I noticed that's when I slowed down, really, when I saw no one was taking the lead. Now I think you guys see where I'm going with this. No one was the leader. So they actually stopped. And when things like this happen, I usually look at, I kind of get a sense of, and again, this is, because of the perception, the projection of people that are in tour, and me just kind of not trying to fall into any kind of trap, where people would just kind of get excited and escalate things. I'll try to assess who's who and what's going on. So if anything happens, like, for example, if there's a big group of people, I'll always look at the biggest guy, just cause, and I'm not going to give them a dirty look, but I'm going to look at them like, hey, man, I'm not some guy that's, going to bow down or bow out or whatever. It's like, I'm looking right at you. I'm not cowering down, or I'm not cowering or anything like that. Just to kind of, just people kind of checking each other out. You get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so anyhow, they stop, and I'm walking towards the corner, about to cross the street. And then it gets even more confusing because they all just come to an immediate stop, and they're sort of in my way, but I can walk around them. And as I'm about to walk around them, there's these two boomers that come behind them. I'm laughing just from saying the word boomer, respectfully. There's these two boomers that they're walking behind them, elderly people, older people. They're walking behind them. So my attention now shifts to, in terms of power structure, and I'm kind of breaking down a lot of stuff here, so hopefully you guys are following me, but I think you guys see where I'm going with this. It's all a thing of, again, giving you an example of what's going on in my head, but how I go about things. So the power dynamics switches, and I say, okay, forget about the woman and or the soccer team. Now it's, the older people, the boomers. So then I look at the man. There's a couple, I look at the man. He's like a real big guy, like all boomers. He's a real big guy. And they were white, I think. Yeah, they were white. That doesn't matter, but white, Eastern European or something like that. But this guy was real big, so I focus on him. And he actually moves over. Now I noticed this where, there'll be a group of people and no one orients. I had a video where I was talking about the time that I was in 7-Eleven and everybody moved. The one girl had said, hey, do you need to get online? Everyone moved, except this one girl who just decided to stay in place and be really literally directly in my way when everybody else was, reorienting themselves. So I get this thing where it would be a whole group of people and no one wants to move. No one. And I'm just I'm not a big guy, so I'm a small guy, so I don't take up a lot of space. I don't take up a lot of time and space. So it doesn't take that much to just move out the way. And it's also, again, overriding any kind of prejudice or any kind of thoughts, perceptions to just show your manners. Then after that, you can make a judgment. But anyhow, when the soccer team didn't move, they stopped, but they didn't really move, right? They saw me walking, they just stopped in place. But then when the boomers came, the gentleman, he moved to, he had his wife and he kind of moved. I can't really, I guess if he's moving like this and the wife is, I'm coming from the right, and if he was walking towards me, he's holding his wife's hand with his right hand. He kind of goes something like this or something like this, and then he lets me through. But he's showing that he's letting me by and he's getting out of my way. And then as soon as, now this is all within that big mass, that big huddle, that soccer huddle, all these people, right? So, because remember, like I said, this thing got convoluted, so that's why I slowed down. And again, it's one, because I'm aware of how people perceive people that are not tall. So I don't want to escalate things. I don't want to waste my time with stuff like that. Also, I just don't want to deal with it. It's just kind of being, we're overcrowded, especially in a place like New York City. We're overcrowded. So it's just being respectful and having etiquette. So when the boomers passed, that was it, like in the midst, like of that whole crowd, that whole soccer team. That was, they were passing by, and I had passed right by them. So you have the whole group here. The couple just went around them, and I made my way just around them. We crossed paths there. And just as I was about to leave the soccer team, just get out that whole, horde of people, that whole group, that whole mass of people, then comes the woman. She comes out of nowhere from here and just bumps right into me. And she didn't even stop. She just, it's a thing of, she knew that I was coming. And she saw that these guys came. So it's kind of, why couldn't she just let me pass? And even if she's coming this way, maybe slow down, like, wait, where's the other guy? Or even just apologize. Because I had the right of way. They stopped. They did whatever they were doing. They decided to stop, even though I saw them far away. And then the boomers and we crossed paths. So I have the right of way. She just crashes right into me and says nothing. And the thing about this is that I've seen this happens to me so many times where I flat out just go full kamikaze on people. And the only reason I don't really just put my elbow into it is because, one, sometimes I have something in my hand, and two, there'll be a little bit of a hesitancy that'll come to my mind. It's not so much a strength. I mean, it's a little bit of that. Like, I don't want to really knock a girl down, or I don't want, I guess, the girl to knock me down, because some of these girls are pretty tough, or they've been exercising, and now they're about to start weightlifting and stuff like that. But it's not even really that. So a lot of times I have something, or it's just that innate thing of, I don't want to bump into somebody. That's kind of, that's now going to be that might escalate into something, but sometimes you just have to do it because it's, they're not respecting your space. And I'm not into this thing of, yeah, you can always say, yeah, women want to be equal, but it's also a thing of me not being tall. I'm not going to go through this abuse all the time, every single day. That's just not going to work out. Somebody got to just draw the line in the sand. It's like, hey, I'm not going to really like just totally steamroll you, but I will go kamikaze if I need to. Anyhow, I think you guys see where I'm going with that, and I'm going to just I'm going to keep making videos like this, not to. Yeah, I mean, now it looks like it's turning into a movement or some kind of mission statement. Yes, it's sort of looking like that, but it's really to just show things from my perspective, and maybe you guys, maybe people can tell me, no, if you look at it like this, and okay, that'll give me something to think about. But I think I broke it down as much as it could be broken down. So that's that. And then just another point where I said it's really the whole world that hates short men. Just before I turned that corner, where I ran into the soccer team, there was this big and tall white man with this black woman, and she was pretty tall, maybe like a 5'10" something like that, but big and tall white man. I'm talking about, like the brawny man kind of, size, just like towering, right? And it was the same thing, exact same thing. It's just these two people. I'm crossing paths with them, and I'm just trying to. Now the man, the white guy, we are the ones that are about to cross paths. So I'm moving over a little bit, but I'm not trying to inconvenience myself that much because it's, well, what are you doing? But I think what's happening in their minds, they're thinking, no, this guy's going to learn his lesson today. And again, that's not showing etiquette, like proper etiquette. Like forget about feelings, perceptions. Let's just start with etiquette. Being a just downright gentleman, but just etiquette. I guess being gentlemanly is an extra level. So let's start at the baseline of etiquette and respect. And this guy does the same thing. And I have some stuff that I got from 7-Eleven, and he just brushes right into that. I've had times that people, brush into my watch. I have a couple nicks on this, but it's just, and yeah, you could say, here's the thing. You could say, well, is New York or is it a city or it's just modern life or whatever. But, do they do that to like other people? And just to wrap this up, what's even crazier about this, in between the brawny man and the soccer team, there was these two white guys. And again, I'm in the financial district, so you guys already know there's a lot of rich people here. Some maybe not, some maybe just look rich to me. There's these two white guys, tall white guys. They're about like 6 feet. They're pretty tall. Maybe it's 5'10", 6 feet, something like that. And they look like legitimate, as people say on the internet, legitimate chads. That could be just, I don't even know what guys are in terms of ratings. I mean, they look like pretty handsome guys, but they look like like they're about something. I'll say that much. And they look like they're pretty cool guys. So they passed by me, and no collision. It was just they passed by, they saw me. They saw me, they made their way, and I made my way, and that was it. Now, you're talking about people who someone like me is perceived to have an actual issue with, in terms of how society is structured, but they got out of my way, I got out of their way. It seems like, it's like something with the bottom end of people and the top end of people, and it's just the people in the middle that are just really the ones that, are really hostile. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, these guys look like pretty handsome guys, good-looking guys, and they were just out, just chilling, and just, I guess whatever, just taking care of things, or just hanging out, or just him and his boy, and they just passed right by me. So it's just weird, But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna just keep making videos like this, just again journaling, but at the same time, and I know I'm putting out a lot, I'm saying a lot, but it's just a lot to lay down. But you kind of have to do that because, again, we're entering this world where we're now in this period where it's a schism. So I'm establishing my position of things. I can't speak for all men that aren't tall, but I'm establishing my position, my perspective of things, so it's out there. But yeah, the way I see it, yeah, there's some people who have some prejudice, some bigotry, and they act on it. They feel a little comfortable and they act on it. And I'm not gonna, I'm a leader. I'm not gonna really deal with that. So that's that. Anyhow, and yeah, just to put it out there, some people need to check themselves. It's as simple as that. Anyway, that's all. That's all for now. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.